Hey there, and welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today we are talking keto chicken pot pie, my friends. You heard me right. Keto chicken pot pie. I made a couple of pie crusts the other day, and today I'm going to use the almond flour one that I made in a previous video, 2 videos ago, to make a really great chicken pot pie. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make this incredible chicken pot pie. Starts off with 12 ounces of shredded chicken breast. A link will appear on the screen for my recipe for Instant Pot chicken breast. About a cup of cut green beans. These I made from fresh green beans, and in the next segment I'll show you how I did that. But if you don't want to go that far, you could of course use canned green beans or frozen. My oven's preheating to 350 degrees there. You might want to do that with yours. But before we get there, we're also going to need about a cup and a half of roasted vegetables here. Here I just pulled these out of the freezer and thawed them. They're mushrooms, red bell pepper, yellow and green bell pepper, some eggplant, some onion, and some garlic, I believe. Should be just delicious in this. Also 2 cups of low-carb gravy. I'll show you how to make that too a little bit later on. And of course, the star of the show, 1 almond flour keto pie crust. I'll put a link to that recipe on the screen as well. To start with fresh green beans, bring a pot of salted water to boil and take your green beans, which you've already washed and cut to the shape you want, and add them to the boiling water. Bring it back to a boil and then set your timer for 8 minutes. There's my timer going off. Here I'm going to turn off the flame and I'm just going to strain my green beans and put them immediately into an ice bath. Here's what you'll need to make the gravy. Starts off with 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You'll also need a half an onion. This is half a yellow onion that I've cut into a small dice. Also 2 cloves of garlic that I've minced. 2 cups of chicken stock. This is my chicken bone broth. I'll put a link to that up here on the screen. Of course, kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper, and also a kind of unconventional ingredient, but don't be shocked, tapioca flour, or tapioca starch it's also called. This actually has, this is a 1/4 cup. It only has 3 net carbs, and that's all it's going to add to our gravy, and I think it's going to give us a really nice texture. Here I've got my butter melted over medium-high heat, and I'm just going to slide in my garlic and onions here. We're going to sweat them until they're soft and translucent. After about 5 minutes, it looks like this. The onions are translucent and beginning to brown, and it smells wonderful. Now we're going to add our chicken broth. We want to bring this up to a boil, so I'm going to turn the heat up, and I'm going to put a lid on it. Okay, now you can see it's coming to a boil. This is important because tapioca won't thicken unless the liquid is boiling. And so here I'm just going to add it in and whisk it. I'm going to turn the heat off, and here I'm going to use my hand blender, that's an immersion blender, to puree the onions and garlic into this, which will also thicken the sauce just a little bit more. And so here, you could also do this in a blender. Now, there's our gravy. I think we need to give it a taste for seasoning. There are a couple of ways you can go about assembling this filling, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix everything together in a great big bowl rather than layer it in the pie crust. Here we're just going to get everything mixed together. I like to have everything well combined. And this also gives me a chance to see just exactly how much gravy I want to use. I'm going to start with a cup. And of course, you can always keep what's ever left over around for other chicken dishes later on. That actually might be just enough, 1 cup here, for the amount of ingredients I've got. It smells fantastic. Maybe just a little bit more. Actually, it's really nice little gravy. And then the next part, you guessed it pretty much. Remove these off to the side. All of this is going to go into our pie crust. All right, now this is going to go into my 350 degree preheated oven for 15 minutes or so. We just want to warm it through. We're not trying to cook anything. We want to make sure that we don't burn our crust. To prevent the crust from browning too much, we can take a piece of aluminum foil, cover our dish with it, and then fold it into quarters like this, and use the scissors to cut out a rim that will go around the entire pie like this. Just cut that. Fold this around like this, and we can fold it over the edges to protect the tender almond flour crust from too much heat. Okay, my timer's just gone off, so it's been in the oven for 20 minutes, and it should be nice and warm from one end to the other. I'm going to remove the foil. You can see it has not burned here. Now, you can serve it just like this if you like. I'm going to add an extra little bonus crunchy topping here. I'm going to add these French fried onion rings. Now, before you sneer at my French fried onion rings, one serving, which is 2 tablespoons, has only 3 net carbs. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon, that would be half of that for each serving here. And it's just going to add a lovely crunch on top that we're going to have instead of that second crust. And doesn't that look great? This is going to be just delicious. And you know what? I think it's time for a taste here. Now, as usual, I kind of mangled my slice coming out, but the rest of them should be nice and pretty. This just smells great. And let me tell you what. It looks great too. Wow. This is so delicious. You're going to love this pie. The green beans are perfectly done. The chicken is in nice, big, fat chunks. The other vegetables, they're really blended nicely. There's a really great oniony flavor throughout, and that little crunchy French fried onion ring thing on top. Just delicious. I might add that the crust has remained a little bit crunchy and is just delicious too. I hope you try this recipe. I also hope that you will like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to my channel. It helps you find my videos and it helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching us here today at Tim Talks Cooking. We'll catch you next time.